Hello everyone and welcome to this week's track guide. I usually try to do these when I'm within about a second of the top 10 leaderboard, but surprisingly, even with the trusted Ferrari, I'm only about half a second off the top times. Okay, let's call it 6/10. So I figured let's do a track guide. This is for the FIA races that are occurring in 11 days time, Dragon Trail Seaside. I signed a contract for this season with Ferrari. I need to just turn down my speakers. One moment. Okay, so I signed a contract with Ferrari for this one, so decided to stick with the real life stuff that I do. It does make life a little bit harder in these races because obviously the mid-engine cars do suffer from high tire wear. But it seems that at this track at least, this car is reasonably competitive. Race pace I can do about a 37.1 at the moment, but that's with the interior view. With this view here, when I race with this view, I'm a little bit quicker, and that's because you can see the curbing and all that easier. Okay, so just quickly before I start, I had the honor of being at a Gr.3 World, an event, one of the live events, and got to meet Kazunori Yamauchi-san. A hero of mine since Gran Turismo 1, and to be able to tell him that I used his game to become a racing driver in real life, it was really, really special. Honestly, amazing. Okay, so I've chosen the interior view because a lot of you complain that about the dashboard cam, so I'm going to cover that before we start a guide. Primarily, this is not what you see in real life. I've moved the position right up against the steering wheel, but in real life you sit so far back that you almost don't see anything out the car, but your eyes are looking so far ahead that you don't actually notice the dashboard at all in real life. And since I already have my hands and steering wheel in front of me in the physical world, when I have this view here, it feels pretty realistic to me. This is kind of the vision that we have anyway. Once you focused all the way down the road. Anyway, let's go back inside. Okay, so this track, fast flowing, I've mentioned before, it has everything that I like in a track. Slow corners, high speed corners, very technical, a bit of curb usage, which I'm addicted to, and also it encourages flow, so you have to spend a few moments off the throttle waiting for the car to rotate and those things, and that's the kind of style that I like. Generally in these daily races with this track, I tend to do quite well. So it's a shame that I won't be able to do this race. I think I'm away. I think I'm doing a race in the Netherlands on the weekend of this race here. But I hope you guys get to do the race, and that'll be pretty cool. So we'll start the actual lap guide on the next lap. Thanks for listening to that long intro. 2 minutes 57 intro. It's always nerve-wracking doing a lap guide on this track because of the chicane of death. It's so easy to bottle it while I'm talking to you, so I'm going to be doing big lifts through here just to make sure I survive it and don't completely mess up this track guide for you guys. Okay, going to the last corner, very important, braking just before the start of the curb. There's a change of track surface here, but you want to get to the inside curb then. The earlier you get on the power for the exit, the better. You can use a little bit of curb, clip the curb on the left there and run a tighter line. Don't run all the way to the outside where the pit wall is because you're going to be using unnecessary track width. Heading down here, I'm staying in fifth in this car. Excuse me, braking at the curb. Be smooth into here. It's all about the exit on through this right-hander, and don't use all of the curb, the exit curb there, because it's gonna give you snap oversteer. Clip the curb on the entry here. You can do a little bit of a lift. Then you use the curb on the outside. You want to try and clip that apex curb. Whoa, that's what happens when you use too much curb there. You want rotation through that right-hander. Now this corner here, we're going to cover it more. This is effectively a straight, so the earlier you can get on the power, the better. So maximize, or focus rather, on the first left-hander going up the hill as much as possible, and you need to perfect it because the sooner you get on the power, the sooner you start a straight. Braking sort of between 150 and 100, clip the curb here, change down late, and you could use this exit curb here nicely. So if you're getting on the power early and you're getting a little bit of push, don't worry about that. Use the curb on the exit. Through here, it's small lift for me today. It's probably flat to do a top 10 time. I did a small lift on my 36.4 just because every time I tried to go flat I was crashing. I was understeering. Braking again just before the curb, use the apex on the inside and accelerate as soon as you can to the exit curb. Then run a tight line here, clip the apex to minimize track distance. Push towards the exit. Towards the finish line. Okay, let's do another lap. Clipping the curb, I'm staying in 5th. Braking just at the curb here. Down to 3rd. Oh, I missed the braking point just a little bit. Again, not using all of the curb on the exit. Just clipping it. Clip this curb here. You can do a little bit of a lift there. And here, this is such an important corner to get right, because if you get on the power early, going down here, you gain a lot of lap time. Now heading towards the most important part of this lap, I believe. Clip the curb on the inside, or don't clip it, ride a lot of it. Ride a lot here, keep it flat the whole way up the hill. It's just all about how much speed you can carry through the left hand at the bottom of the hill. And if you carry too much speed past the exit, you're going to have to lift going up the hill, and that's not ideal. Braking at around 130 there, use the curb on the outside, just as a sort of safety blanket. And then pushing through the chicane of death, phrased by Super GT. Don't touch the wall like I just did there. Oh! And careful of the curb usage through the corner. You wanted to, if you're clipping on the insides of the curbs near the walls, you're going to get a little bit of instability on the exit. Braking in a straight line and then trail brake into the apex, clip the curb, maximize the exit, clip the curb here, and let's do a lap without the steering wheel just so you can see the lines better. Okay, staying in 5th again, just because this car really revs out. 3, 2, 1, braking. That was not ideal at all. Still managed to get a decent exit, but I've lost about 2/10 there for an ideal lap. So you definitely want to clip both curbs. Braking on the curb there. I'm using 2nd gear at the last minute to get rotation. Don't do that. If you're having to use the gear to get rotation, it means you didn't set up your braking right. Try to avoid going too far left through that right-hander, so don't maximize the exit, rather set up for the top left-hander there, which we just went through. Because you don't want to scrub speed with understeer either. Pushing wide. The tips that I'm giving you here and the elements that I'm pointing out will apply to any car, not just the MR cars. Whoa, big lift there just to try and survive the corner. I think if you're doing a lift through there, then it's easy to survive, and that's the key thing, because in the race there's going to be a lot of crashing there. My advice is that if you're following another car, then just do a lift before the corner and rather slipstream them down the straight. You don't want to go through there flat and then miss your turning point and then hit the wall on the right hand side, because then your race is over. So the chicane of death, it's very important to be patient through there and not try to break the lap record on every lap. Okay, so there you go. There's my track guide for the upcoming FIA manufacturers race. I hope you found it useful. You can apply these tips to any car that you're using. Besides that, I will catch you around the next lap. Thank you for watching. Please share with your mates. And yeah, see you next time. Peace.